Good morning. My name is Dawg Knight, and this is the Morning Night Live. And all I have to say right now is, oh, what a tangled web we weave. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Alrighty, let's stop that music and we'll add some new music and put this on. Here we go. I got the funk going right away today because, hey, good morning. It is Friday, May 3rd on the Morning Night Live. Welcome everybody who are already here, but maybe we can get a few more people here if I can con Shiagrath into shilling for me. So I'm going to put that Twitter link in the chat one more time because you know what? I'm not going to make you, but I'm going to ask you real nice. Ding. All right, the link's in the chat if you want to tweet that out if you're on Twitter. If not, you can hit the share button because the Morning Night Live is sponsored and grows because of you, the people who share my stuff. So there we go. Good morning. Let's say good morning to Corbin Thomas, C. Thomas Gulf City Peasant, who was first today. Way to go, Corbin. Nice to have you here. Good morning, Shiagrath. Good morning, All You Need. You're here early. That's awesome. And RVA, Necro, and there's a few others slowly coming in. R.W. Costin. Oh my God. Has anyone else randomly realized that Hillary Scott from Lady Antebellum is nice to look at? Well, I noticed that about 3 years ago. So I don't know what made you think of that, but hey, I'm all with you on that. She's definitely nice to look at. And you won't give me the Twitter shield because I lost my Twitter to Care. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks. That sucks. But you know, these social media these social media platforms are kind of doing some weird shit lately, and I got a feeling that they're not going to be around much longer because someone's going to realize that they've decided to be publishing companies instead of public forums. And I just have a little, I was just thinking, in fact, yesterday when I found out that they got rid of major right-wing figures like Louis Farrakhan. Oh, Facebook banned Louis Farrakhan, and a bunch of people out there put that they called him a right-wing figure. And now, how the hell did they do that? Now, some of them have changed that since, but they also got rid of they got rid of Alex Jones a while ago. They got rid of Paul Joseph Watson, Laura Loomer. There were a bunch of others. They're just starting this purge, and it's not necessarily all right-wing people. But it is, the conservative ones seem to be more prominent ones, but they do also have a tendency to get rid of the anti-war left too. It's just strange because now they're enforcing kind of an editorial control over their platforms, which would make them publishers. So I would think a really good strategy right now. In fact, I'm going to send a message to Lynn Wood. Now, if you're not familiar who Lynn Wood is the attorney for Nicholas Sandmann. Okay, now, you know who Nick Sandmann is. He's the kid who was wearing the MAGA hat, and Chief Lying Fire Pants decided to bag a drum 2 inches from his face, and Sandmann just stood there and took it. Lynn Wood has been taking several of these large entities to court, right? So yesterday he sued, or 2 days ago, he sued NBC News for $275 million. Already has a lawsuit against I believe the Washington Post. And who's the other one? He has 3 going right now, and there's more to come. CNN, that was one of them. Now, think about this. If these Facebook, Twitter, and even YouTube for matter, if they are starting to ban people for basically what you would call editorial control of their platforms, then by law, those platforms would be considered publishers because they are determining what you can and cannot put on their platforms editorially. Because if you think about it, they say they're banning some of these people because they might be doing conspiracy theories or for whatever reason. Now it's funny because they mentioned because of violence, which none of the people they have banned have actually done any violence. And also, words are not violence. I know I'm saying that a weird way, but anyway, I would think though, so now that they've decided they're publishers, well, a great amount of the wrath and that went towards Nicholas Salmon and the Covington Catholic kids happened on Facebook and on Twitter, right? Well, if these guys are publishers now, they too would be liable for the false information that was said about Nicholas Salmon and the Covington kids. And in fact, they made no efforts to remove some of the terrible things that were said about Nicholas Salmon. Granted, it was Kathy Griffin who said those things, or news outlets that said those things, or other people who said those lies about them. But you know what? Social media is banning people because of their editorial content. Well, that makes you a publisher, and you too can be liable for what's published on your platform. Unless, of course, you want to go back to being a public forum. Now, if you're a public forum, then you cannot be considered liable for what shows up on your site. I got a feeling we're going to start seeing some lawsuits like that come around. So, and I'll concur with C. Thomas's latest line in the chat without saying out loud. But you know what? I feel you, brother. Oh, by the way, good morning, Maniac Man. I see you showed up here. Good morning. Nice to see you. Rakataka. All right. So anyway, let's get into the show today. I got a few articles here. This one in particular grabbed my attention. We've been talking a lot about the Mueller probe and whether or not the Trump administration was, what's the word? Hey, good morning, Jaeger Pony. Good to see you here for a bit. Well, hey, you know what? A bit is better than not at all. So anyway, we're talking about the Mueller probe. The Mueller probe. They were trying to find collusion. Was the Trump campaign reaching out to Russia to try to find some dirt on Donald Trump, on Hillary Clinton and her campaign, and were they working with the Russians trying to influence the election? Well, we have another bombshell in that regard. However, it seems to be going in a different direction. Bombshell report. Ukraine embassy says DNC operative reached out for dirt on Trump in 2016, report says. A new bombshell report released on Thursday evening alleges that an operative for the Democratic National Committee reached out during the 2016 presidential election and asked for dirt on Donald Trump. Very, very interesting. The Hill reports that a Ukrainian ambassador, Valery Chaly's office, said in a written answers to questions that DNC contractor Alexandra Chalupa, now I'm getting hungry, sought information on Paul Manafort because Chalupa wanted to force Manafort's business dealings in front of Congress. The embassy got to know Ms. Chalupa because of her engagement with Ukrainian and other diasporas in Washington, D.C., and not in her DNC capacity. We learned that her DNC involvement later. We were surprised to see Alexandra's interest in Mr. Paul Manafort's case. It was her own cause. The embassy representative unambiguously refused to get involved in any way, as we were convinced that this is strictly a U.S. domestic matter. All ideas floated by Alexandra were related to approaching a member of Congress with a purpose to initiate hearings on Paul Manafort or letting an investigative journalist ask President Poroshenko a question about Mr. Manafort during his public talk in Washington, D.C. Wow, that's interesting. Dare I say it? Reached by phone last week, Chalupa said she was too busy to talk, the Hill reported. She did not respond to an email and phone messages seeking subsequent comment. So, I wonder, could that be considered collusion? Wait, what? Why is Alex Jones in my chat? What? The DNC has done more. Oh, that's Russia and Slavic. Yeah, I know they have, haven't they? It's amazing how they have all these. I mean, this is the Ukrainian embassy saying this. It's not even someone who's looking for it. But man, it almost seems like they should investigate that. So what the hell? So I have Alex Jones in my chat. Hang on, I want to see real quick. I just want to take what is that showing up on this screen? Oh, because that's top chat. Let's go to live chat. I'm going to click this, and we're going to go to channel. Okay, it's the Alex Jones channel, but 0 subscribers. That's very interesting. I wonder if that is what's the word? I wonder if that's I don't know what that is. He doesn't have a channel. Don't click that link, please. I don't trust the link at all, because it's anyway. All right, enough of that. I've never watched Alex Jones, honestly, at least not directly. I've indirectly watched him through other clips and things like that, but I would stay off that link just to be safe. Who knows what that link actually goes to? Excuse me. By the way, I do have my reparations coffee here. I probably should have some reparation bourbon to stop this cough, but we do what we do here. Anyway, so back to this bombshell. A 2017 report from Politico noted Ukrainian government officials tried to help Hillary Clinton and undermine Trump by publicly questioning his fitness for office. That's interesting that Politico noted that in 2017 and no one really said anything about it. They also disseminated documents implicating a top Trump aide in corruption and suggested they were investigating the matter, only to back away after the election, Politico added, and they helped Clinton allies research damaging information on Trump and his advisors, a Politico investigation found. Now, why isn't the Justice Department or the FBI? There should be a special counsel, shouldn't there? Good gracious, that's collusion. Or is it just getting opposition research? I don't know. Norman, I don't know. Let me ask you something, Norman. It kind of bums me out because every time I see one of your messages, it's retracted. Are you deleting your own messages, or is that happening like automatically? Just out of curiosity. I hope if you're doing it, that's fine. But I want to make sure that you're not being censored on my channel. And I don't know why you would be, because I don't even have a moderator in here right now. But let me know. Good morning, MC. Hammer time. Good morning, MC. Yes, I delete them self. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I want to make sure that we're not oppressing you with our very. You can see them after deletion on the stream feed. Oh, am I missing that? Is that the problem? Well, let me check that out here because I want to make sure that. All right, here we go. Da-da-da-da-da. There's Norman. You can see them after deletion on the stream feed. Okay, on the stream feed here. Oh, I see what you're saying. When you watch it in the replay. Is that what you're saying, Sheagrath? I'm not sure. Anyway. So, yeah, so this bombshell, this is a bombshell. You've heard that word a lot in the last couple of years. The Hill further notes that the new statement from the Ukraine embassy comes after a Ukrainian court ruled that the country's National Anti-Corruption Bureau wrongly interfered in the 2016 American election by releasing documents related to Manafort. A separate report from the Hill in April noted that the Obama White House invited top Ukrainian authorities to Washington to discuss two politically hot investigations, one that touched Vice President Joe Biden's family and one that involved a lobbying firm linked closely to then candidate Trump. Now, the other part of this story, if you already didn't know this, is that the executive office, I'll just say, Vice President Biden, interfered in some dealings that his son had in Ukraine, and his son made millions of dollars because of this interference. So, I don't know. Above the dog, and you did it again. You do this so fast, I don't ever get a chance to read them. All right. Anyway, by the way, I didn't even say good morning to you, Norman. How you doing? Good to have you here. All right. So that's fascinating. That's some fascinating news. Now, as you know, I get a lot of my headlines from the blog, The Ace of Spades, which is here. And so there's a couple more that I picked up this morning. But this is actually from the other day. So now, unfortunately, fortunately, let's put it this way. I am glad that the Mueller probe found that the Trump administration did not collude with Russia, because everyone should be happy about that, although some people are severely disappointed. But you know what? That's not the only way to skin a cat. And the Democrats in the state of New York, if the feds can't get them, the state of New York's going to try it too. New York state government joins the war on Trump. The New York Attorney General's office and now the state legislature are targeting a political opponent, Donald Trump, his family, his businesses, and his allies. Wow, the state government in New York has become part of the resistance to Trump, and not just on policy issues. The law enforcement and legislative function have been co-opted to target Trump because he's a political enemy. In the war on Trump, the important norms are being broken. It's disgusting and dangerous. The most prominent norm being broken is by the new Attorney General, Letitia James, who campaigned on the promise to use the full force of the state's law enforcement powers to target Trump and his family. We will use every area of the law to investigate President Trump and his business transactions and that of his family as well. How this is legal, I don't know. It's fascinating to me. Of course, now she's the state attorney general, so she basically is the one who's supposed to enforce the laws, and it's insane to me. Hello, Chicago Mike. Good morning. Such targeting of Trump didn't start with James, of course, we knew that. She was following up on similar targeting by former and disgraced AG Eric Schneiderman and the interim AG Barbara Underwood. We documented this long line of Democratic New York Attorney Generals weaponizing the office for political purposes. We wrote about it in December 2018 as the incoming Attorney General vows to use full power of the state to get at Trump. So here's the deal. So far, her office has subpoenaed 2 banks for records related to Trump Organization projects and continued to pursue a lawsuit against the Trump Foundation, alleging it violated state and federal charities law. Asked by CNN about the lawsuit, Donald Trump Jr. dismissed it, saying there was nothing to talk about, more nonsense. She even pushed for the state assembly to pass legislation that would allow her office to pursue state charges for anyone the president pardons on federal charges. Now that is just straight out corrupt. That's crazy. Her office's pursuit of tax records and details of President Trump's businesses, along with efforts by federal prosecutors in Manhattan, could be critical leading into the re-election campaign as the Mueller investigation has ended and House Democrats are only now accelerating their investigations. I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president, James said during her campaign. Most of his business activities are performed in New York. James told NBC earlier this month he engages in businesses in New York, he operates in New York, and it's really critically important that New Yorkers and as taxpayers that we understand and know whether or not he devalued corporations and he received some tax benefits thereof, that he engaged in false claims against New Yorkers, and as a result of that, we are seeking to see what we can do legally. Well, you know what? I always thought you had to have a crime that you knew about. So they're just randomly investigating him. And you know what? If you can make up a crime as long as if you keep investigating long enough, you can always find a crime. You can, like they say, you can charge a ham sandwich with a crime. James' reference to, quote, this illegitimate president, end quote, ends any doubt that she's politically motivated, not motivated by legitimate law enforcement concerns. The New York Attorney General's office has been identified, the New York Attorney General's office has identified the political target, and now it's searching for the crime. She's also doing the same thing with the NRA. But yeah, so that's awful. That's not how you're supposed to do business. That's just crazy. All right, moving on. Next article. Here's an interesting one. Hey, you probably heard about this. You know, they've been talking about spying a lot. And apparently the FBI had an investigator posing as an assistant to meet with Trump aide in 2016. This is the deal with the Papadopoulos story. And this is actually in the New York Times. It's amazing that you're actually starting to hear this on some of the other media that we normally wouldn't. Here's the deal. We know right now that William Barr, the Attorney General of the United States, has made it pretty clear that he's beginning to look into some of the things that, let's just say, have been neglected when it comes to the aspects of this Trump investigation, i.e., how it began, where it came from, what money, when did they start the investigation? Was there corruption in the investigation itself? He's made it pretty clear that he's starting to look at some of these issues. For example, how were these contacts with Papadopoulos and Carter Page? How were those initiated? The FISA warrants. He's going to start looking into that. There's many aspects he's starting to look at. Well, I think some of these newspapers and media outlets are trying to get ahead of that. And that's why you're seeing this article now. And again, FBI investigator posing as an assistant to meet with Trump aide. The conversation at a London bar in September 2016 took a strange turn when the woman sitting across from George Papadopoulos, a Trump campaign advisor, asked a direct question. Was the Trump campaign working with Russia? The woman had set up the meeting to discuss foreign policy issues, but she was actually a government investigator posing as a research assistant, according to the people familiar with the operation. The FBI sent her to London as part of the counterintelligence inquiry opened that summer to better understand the Trump campaign links to Russia. An investigator. Yes, a.k.a. a spy, MC. You caught that. Very, very good. And I never did watch it. We never did watch that Papadopoulos interview. But again, the Papadopoulos interview with Archer Fletcher, he talks about this. It's kind of funny. The American government's affiliation with this woman, who said her name was Azra Turk, is one previously unreported detail of an operation that has become a political flashpoint in the face of accusations by President Trump and his allies that American law enforcement and intelligence officials spied on his campaign to undermine his electoral chances. Last year, he called it Spygate. Oh, get used to hearing that word. By the way, I am completely tired of everything, every controversy ending in the word gate. Just FYI, it's annoying as hell. Good morning, Max Del Rio. How you doing? And hi, Johnny Hellcat too. The decision to use Miss Turk in the operation aimed at a presidential campaign official shows the level of alarm. Really? Shows the level of alarm inside the FBI during the frantic period when the Bureau was trying to determine the scope of Russia's attempts to disrupt the 2016 election, but could also give ammunition to Mr. Trump and his allies for their spying claims. You know, here's the thing. So I can't remember what the principle is called, but when the FBI or Justice Department has an idea that some spies or some entities are trying to infiltrate your organization, it's kind of a courtesy provision that they contact you and tell you, hey, we have information that this entity might be trying to infiltrate your organization for, bad purposes. So if the FBI and the Justice Department at the time during the Obama administration had been following protocol, they would have warned the Trump camp that, hey, you know what? There may be some Russians spies or Russian people trying to infiltrate your campaign. Here's a heads up. They weren't given that heads up. Instead, they had people in there spying on them. And I'll use the word too. It is spying. Okay? They did not give them a heads up. They did not warn them that this could be happening. They just let it happen. Let it happen. And they decided to spy about it. It's like, for example, when they finally figured out Diane Weinstein had a Chinese spy as her driver, and I'm just going to say that too, they gave her the courtesy of letting her know, and she could fire him and get rid of him, even though he'd been there for 20 years. Oh my God. And then they don't let him know. Anyway, Ms. Turk went to London to help oversee a politically sensitive operation, working alongside a longtime informant, the Cambridge professor Stephen A. Halper. The move was a sign that the Bureau wanted in place a trained investigator for a layer of oversight. Oh my God, who wrote this crap? The Times is spitting the F out of this. As a layer of oversight, really? You sent an FBI agent? Oh my gosh, you got to listen to Papadopoulos' story on this. Oh my God. A layer of oversight, as well as someone who could gather information or serve as a credible witness in any potential prosecution that emerged from the case. First of all, they sent people to him to try to... Oh my God. This is so incredible. I forgot this part. I read this, but I'm just... Oh, this is painful. 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 Anyway, so here's the deal. Well, I'm going to read a little more. The London operation yielded no fruitful information. Right? But the FBI officials have called the Bureau's activities in the months before the election both legal and carefully considered under extraordinary circumstances. They are now under scrutiny as a part of an investigation by Michael E. Horowitz, the Justice Department Inspector General. He could make the results public in May or June, Attorney General William P. Barr has said. Some of the findings are likely to be classified. And then it's unclear whether Mr. Horowitz will find fault with the FBI's decision to have Ms. Turk, whose real name is not publicly known, meet with Papadopoulos. Mr. Horowitz has focused, among other things, on the activities of Mr. Halper, who accompanied Ms. Turk in one of her meetings meetings with Papadopoulos, and who also met with him and other campaign aides separately. The Bureau might also have seen Ms. Turk's role as essential for protecting Mr. Halper's identity as an informant if prosecutors ever needed court testimony about their activities. So, and then, Mr. Barr pissed everyone off by using the word spying in that one particular congressional testimony and got everyone in an uproar. But I'm not sure what else you would call this. Anybody got another word for it? I sure don't. I think spying is a pretty good word, and I think they should continue using it. All right, moving on. And speaking of Mr. Barr, and this is, you kind of noticed this if you listened to the testimony the other day, we have multiple criminal leak investigations underway after Russia probe. On Wednesday, Attorney General Barr revealed that the Department of Justice has launched many investigations into the constant leaks to the media during the Trump-Russia investigation. The DOJ is examining just exactly how mainstream media outlets had scoops on the investigation long before Congress had learned anything about the subject matter. Yeah, they were priding themselves on no leaks, and yet there were leaks. There were plenty of leaks. Good morning, Check Your Logic. How you doing? I see you're here. All right, Senator Chuck Grassley, Iowa, asked Barr about the leaks in testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee. The Inspector General found that during the department investigation of Hillary Clinton for mishandling classified information, there was... Now, I like that. Now, see, not Hillary Clinton's emails. The investigation of Hillary Clinton for mishandling classified information. That is accurate. No one gave a shit about her emails. It's the mishandling of classified information and improper storage of government records, i.e., her official Secretary of State's correspondences, which are subject to Freedom of Information Act requests, which she deleted a good portion while they were under subpoena. People always ask, I have a friend who asks all the time, why are you still talking about Hillary Clinton? Why are you still talking about Hillary Clinton? Well, Hillary Clinton put her ass on Rachel Maddow last night, and so I'm going to talk about Hillary Clinton too, because she should have gone to jail. Just saying. There are plenty of people who have gone to jail for mishandling classified information. Hillary Clinton is not special. Anyway, the Inspector General found that during the department's investigation of Hillary Clinton for mishandling misclassified information, there was a culture of unauthorized media contacts. During the Russia investigation, the leaks continued. Leaks undermine the ability of investigators to investigate, Grassley argued. Further, leaks to the papers while Congress's questions to the department go unanswered is unacceptable. And then he asked him the question. Here, let's see how long is this exchange. Let's see how long it is. We'll just play it.
The General found that during the department's investigation of Hillary Clinton for mishandling highly classified information, there was a culture of unauthorized media contacts. During the Russian investigation, the leaks continued. Leaks undermine the ability of investigators to investigate. Further leaks to the papers while Congress's questions to the department go unanswered is unacceptable. Why? What are you doing to investigate unauthorized media contacts by the department and FBI officials during the Russian investigation?
We have multiple criminal leak investigations underway.
Now, that's a pretty important answer. We have multiple criminal leak investigations underway. Outstanding. Later in the hearing, Senator Joe Kennedy, Republican of Louisiana, suggested Barr extend the probes to Special Counsel Robert Mueller and his team as well. When you're investigating leaks in the Department of Justice and the FBI, I hope you'll include the Mueller team as well, Kennedy said, concluding his remarks. And then Devin Nunes has already sent multiple criminal referrals. There have been several criminal referrals sent to the Justice Department by various entities regarding this stuff. So there you go. Let's see what else we got here. I've got this was really weird. Now hang on. Let's check something else out real quick. Benghazi. You know what? I don't care about Benghazi so much. But the classified information is that's a big deal. That's why Chelsea Manning went to jail. Now, granted, Chelsea Manning stole the classified information, but that guy who took a picture of the nuclear sub went to jail for that, right? He just took a picture showing his parents a picture of the sub that he was stationed on. He went to jail for a year for a photo. Imagine that. I'm not so interested in Benghazi. Mistakes were made. I don't know that they can't clean about it, but the fact that we found out that, oh my gosh, not only was there classified information on the server, there was classified information on Anthony Weiner's laptop. That's the one that kills me. The dude who was sending dick pics to underage girls had classified information on his laptop because Huma Abedin transferred there for some reason. Also, the other part about that I don't understand, and this has never been clear to me, because if you know anything about how the government stores classified information, first they have their special dedicated servers that you shouldn't be able to transfer classified information out to an unauthorized source. Okay. And then they also have these things called SCIFs. I can't remember what the acronym stands for, but it's a place where it's so classified and top secret that the information could only be seen in that room. Okay. You have to go into a special room to go see them. And then you can't have any recording or devices or pictures or anything like that. And you go in and you see the information, and you have to have special authorized access to go see the information. And she had some of that on her server. There's no way to transfer the classified information you can see in a SCIF to a computer that's in someone's basement. So she had special access programming. She had top secret programs. She had classified information all on the server in her basement. How did she do that? You can't transfer it from just regular old government computers. So they subpoenaed her, Brian Pagliano. That was the guy who set up her network and stuff. Remember he got subpoenaed by Congress, and he never showed up. He ignored the subpoena, and whatever happened with him, he still has never testified to anybody about the servers. And while the servers were under subpoena, first of all, they destroyed some of the devices. Okay, all this stuff is supposed to be being investigated. They destroyed her Blackberries with hammers and whatever. They cleaned the computer with this program called BleachBit. Also, you know what else? There were 2 outside storage companies that supposedly were archiving all her records on her personal server. And also, the server was not encrypted for the first 6 months she was using it. And the 2 outside storage companies, one I think was called Platte River, and there's one called Dado Inc. Those 2 companies supposedly were archiving all her stuff, but they dumped all of theirs. While this is under subpoena, I don't understand. Well, I do understand how she got away with it, because the Department of Justice let her get away with it. Comey even said, in that October press conference. That she did this, all this stuff was done, but they're not going to charge her. Oh my gosh, I don't get it. Sensitive compartmental information facility. Yeah, that's a SCIF. Okay, so how did she get that information on her server? You can't even transfer that kind of stuff, and yet they found that on her server. And then, but nope, didn't charge her with any of it. Didn't charge her. Didn't no obstruction of justice for destroying half of the emails. You know, they've been finding them piecemeal here and there through different departments. And I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't know how that works. But you know what? It's almost as though we're never going to find out either. So so people can complain about talking about Hillary Clinton as much as you want. Unless you know the answers to those questions and can tell me, I'm going to keep asking it because I don't get it. I'm just curious. All right, let's move on. How are we doing for time here? Oh, no, don't even have my timer out. There we go. All right, my timepiece is back and functioning, maybe. All right, doing good. All right, this one... Now, let's just remember... I personally am pro-choice. Not that my opinion matters to anyone one way or the other. I think I am pro-choice. Thomas, what'd you say there? I'm sorry. I would have SPU, but Streamlabs is borked for me. The abject hypocrisy of the Democrats is effing disgusting, and they call the GOP corrupt while they pull every kind of gay op. Yeah, they do. They do. They run a racket like nobody's business. It's amazing. This is weird. Okay, now I'm hoping that this dude just didn't mean to say this the way he said it, and I don't know. Alabama state rep and proud Democrat plums for abortion. Some kids are unwanted, so you kill them now or you kill them later. This is just the weirdest statement. Let's see if this is a clip here.
It'll all be a woman's choice. I'm not about to be as a male tell a woman what to do with her body. She has a right to make that decision herself. To rape the incest. Some kids are unwanted. So you kill them now and kill them later. You bring them in the world unwanted, unloved. You send them to the electric chair. So you kill them now and kill them later. But the bottom line is that I think we should be making this decision.
Now, that's in reference to a bill that they passed there, but it was just the way he said it. So some kids are unwanted, so you kill them now or you kill them later. You bring them in the world unwanted, unloved, and you send them to the electric chair. So you kill them now, you kill... I don't... of course, now that's the thing. Now I in a very minuscule way, I understand where he was trying to go with that, but boy, that did not come out very good. That was a weird way to put that. And I'm very conflicted as far as, when does that fetus become human? I think it comes human pretty quick. Others, I'm not going to debate it now because I'm so conflicted myself about it. I mean, I think if you actually think about it, it's an abhorrent practice, but I understand why we want to keep it legal. Just what you said there, man. Having it legal in the third trimester, I mean, that's for the most part, the third trimester, it's a fully developed human being by then. But this statement, that's not a statement you want to be making. You kill them now, you kill them later. Just because a child maybe wasn't in your plan doesn't mean the child's going to grow up and be something when you put it in the electric chair. I just don't get it. But this is not really the reason I brought this up. The reason I pulled this up, and I like what Ace does here, it's not so much that this guy said this kind of crazy ass thing. Oh, hi Chadwick, how you doing? Hey, not so much that he said this crazy thing, but whenever Democrats do something stupid or whatever, or say something that's really questionable like this, it's never just reported that the Democrat did this crazy thing. It's always the favorite words of newspapers, especially the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the general left end of the spectrum of media, which is pretty redundant for the most part. How they report it is always hilarious, and of course, the Hill. That they covered the story by saying those famous words, conservatives pounce on Alabama State Democrat abortion comments. They pounced again. Not that this idiot said something really fucking stupid, but it's how the Republicans react, or conservatives react. Conservative pounce. The Democratic politician literally talks about killing unwanted, retarded, and half-deformed babies, and far-left publications like The Hill frame the report as conservatives pounce. It is hilarious. And so then they changed it later. Conservatives seize on Alabama State Democrats' abortion comments. How about just reporting that this guy said this craziness? That's what you should say. Now, but then again, then his Twitter feed, The Hill switched things up. Conservatives rail. Why is the conservatives' reaction more important than what this dickhole said? It's just hilarious. But also, but then CNN probably did something even better. CNN decided they couldn't spin it, even with a conservative pound storyline, so they just straight up suppressed it. You search on CNN for James Roger, abortion, Alabama, and your search comes up empty. Isn't that special? All right. So, now, let me do my minute of shilling real quick. The Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the watchers and viewers of the Morning Night Live. Thank you for being here. A lot of you come here quite often. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. So right down here, there's a share arrow. Hit that share arrow. Share it out with your friends on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Reddit, wherever you put stuff. If you put stuff online, hey, and you know what? Even Gab and Minds. I forgot that I had a Gab account and a Minds account, and I just realized I looked on my phone. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about those. So I'm starting to put those out on those two platforms too. Did I hit send though? Did I post this? No, I did. Yes, I did post. So I even put them on Gab and Minds and Twitter and Facebook. I don't put anything on Facebook. I avoid Facebook as much as I can. For some reason, I just can't stand it as a platform. The only time I go there, I have family puts a lot of stuff on there, so I'll check out what they do once in a while, but I just avoid Facebook. And plus, I don't go in there as Dawg Knight. I go in there as me, so that'd be Marty. Anyway, so I don't spend a lot of time on there. Oh, Necro, you put this thing about... he responded. Oh, thanks, Necro. We'll play this one, too. Oh, and there was also... I got to tell you about a weird thing that came up weird. Who is this? What is there? Oh, I see what you got there. All right. Anyway, so the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you. If you could also make sure you hit the like button, which is somewhere. It's probably down here too, somewhere down here. And then I do super chats, but I don't have them via YouTube. So there's a link in the description down below where we do have the Streamlabs account. And if you want to if you want to make sure that I see it, it'll notify me. I will read those over the air for the most part. So, although occasionally if it's a little too edgy, I might tweak it a bit, but I'll give the absolute essence of what you said. But most of the time, I'll just read them outright. Now, a couple things that I noticed too. When the other day, let's see if I can find this. Should be in my mentions. Apparently, Google seems to have discovered me because Google Opinion Rewards asked somebody if they want to categorize me. But then it suggested one of my own videos. That was weird. So here in Google Opinion Rewards, have you viewed all or part of this video on YouTube? And this was my show the other night. Maybe it was just yesterday, actually. It was yesterday I did the Brennan one. It was yesterday or 2 days ago. So they asked if you viewed all or part of this video. That was question 1 of 4. Oh, that's you, Sheograth. Yeah. I didn't, well, okay, I don't want to out you there. I didn't, okay. And then here, imagine you're watching video A. Would this be a good recommendation for you to watch next, either because it's related to video A or because it's relevant to you? Well, I did the other video. It's me. Of course they would. I mean, if you're gonna watch me once, you might watch me twice. Well, then again, some people come through here and never come back because I'm not for everybody. I'm just not. But anyway, it was interesting. I just found that interesting. All right, so all right, let's go back here. Let's what else was I going to show you here? Oh yeah, let's go. Here's so apparently Donald Trump mentioned this state senator from Alabama, and so Alabama State Representative John Rogers' response to Donald Trump Jr. calling him out for his remarks about killing unwanted kids, says Trump Jr. is proof that mothers ought to have the right to an abortion. Oh my God, because he is evidently retarded or crazy. Apparently in Alabama, you're allowed to still use the word retarded, but here's his statement.
Condemned your comments. Do you have a response to the president's son?
Hey, that's an honor. Donald Trump Jr. did that. Thank God. Right on. That's definitely all right. Because I don't know nothing he's been right on since he's been here. That proved the right to make a decision about abortion. Him being born, that's proved the right to do. That's a very, very good defense I have for abortion right to him. Look at him say, why don't you have aborted him when he was born? He would have made that stupid statement, right? So his parents made a decision for him. That's a decision he made for him. So that's the first proof I got. Mother all had a right to have abortion. They made a decision to have him, then they could have aborted him. But they made a decision to keep him. So he's evidently retarded. Crazy. Donald Trump son, I know he's something wrong with that boy. I look at him and tell something wrong with it. He should.
Okay, I see a FTG. Okay, here, I'll stop there. I see an FTG in the chat for that guy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you should ever say that, you know what, maybe you should have been aborted. Probably not a great argument for for your cause. Oh my gosh. But anyway. Yeah, he's, you know what? He's from deep South Alabama, and there's a lot of people who talk that way. I couldn't understand half of what he said, but that's because I'm a northerner. I'm a northern brother. I mean, that wasn't even brother talk. That was Alabama talk. That's some down home country Alabama talk. Alabama State Representative John Rogers. Good for him. All right, hey, let's get into some Twitter trends because I'm just laughing. You know, first, before I do that, there was another thing. Here's during a rally one time back in 2000 and I believe it was 2017, Donald Trump made a joke, and it was clearly a joke. Okay. And Donald Trump said to the rally crowd, Russia, if you're listening, maybe you can help us find Hillary Clinton's 30,000 deleted emails. Now, clearly he was being facetious. He was smiling and kind of laughing when he said it. And people are trying to use that as proof that Donald Trump was colluding with the Russians. And in fact, in the Mueller report, I noticed there was a blurb about that particular joke. And they said, somebody made the claim that, well, in the report, there's even the claim that after, not 5 hours later, for the first time, someone attempted to hack Hillary Clinton's emails. Now, this is something else I'm curious about, because I didn't click. I don't even remember who I was listening to that asked this question, but it's an interesting question. So that was in sometime in 2017. I don't know. It was like sometime mid 2017, because it was after he was already president, and he made that statement. It was clearly a joke. So, first of all, in the language, well, there's two questions. One, the language in the report says that why would they say for the first time someone attempted to access Hillary Clinton's emails? The words "the first time." Were they trying to make it sound as though nobody had ever tried to hack her emails before? Because I know in a hearing a few years ago, someone said there was evidence that China had already hacked her server. So that's one part of it. And then the second part, so that was in, I think, June of 2017 that Trump made that joke. But in June of 2017, Hillary Clinton's server had already been destroyed. It was destroyed late in 2016. That's when they did all this, the supposed emails were... That's when she deleted the emails. That's when she was being investigated, because it was during the campaign that all happened. So I'm trying to figure out, well, wait a minute. If Donald Trump makes this joke, and then for the first time, Russians are trying to hack her system. What system were they trying to hack? This was the system that she supposedly turned in the system, and they used bleach bit and cleaned it out before they turned it into the FBI, which is obstruction of justice. It was under subpoena, and all that. I just answered your question. So anyways, on Twitter today, I noticed this little blurb, because apparently Hillary Clinton went on the Rachel Maddow show last night. And like I said, if you want me to stop talking about Hillary, I'll stop talking about her as soon as she stops showing up on my screen.
Since Russia is clearly...
But this little... Wait, what happened there? That's not what I wanted. The hell? Get back on here. Oh, no. Hang on, I lost it. Hold on, I gotta find it again. Let's see. Here we go. Give me one moment here. Let's see. Here, let's just find him right here. Oh, no. Come on. My apologies. This is not a boomer mode. I just happened to click the wrong button there. Don't say a word. I hear all the gears in all of your heads spinning right now. Ah, gosh darn it. Let's see if we can find... here we go. Let's go. Anyway, so what happened is... Here we go.
You had one of the Democratic nominees for 2020 on your show. And And that person said, you know, the only other adversary of ours who's anywhere near as good as the Russians is China. So
Here, I'll,
have all the fun. And since Russia is clearly
here, let's hang on a second. I want to make sure you can hear this.
China took the U.
So, you know, there's constant bitching about Trump asked this joke about the Trump asking the Russians. I'm gonna turn the music off for a second so you can hear it, and we're gonna turn this up. My apologies. Let's try this. So listen to this. There we go. Here we go. Listen to this.
You had one of the Democratic nominees for 2020 on your show. And that person said, you know, the only other adversary of ours who's anywhere near as good as the Russians
Look at how.
is China. So why
Wait.
should Russia?
Look at her face. Look how stern she is. She knows she's about to get investigated again. But look at the anger and just fire in her face right now. It's wow.
Have all the fun. And since Russia is clearly backing Republicans, why don't we ask China to back us?
I hereby tonight ask China.
That's right. And not only that, China, if you're listening, why don't you get Trump's tax returns? I'm sure our media would richly reward you. Now, according to the Mueller report, that is not conspiracy because it's done right out in the open. So if after this hypothetical Democratic candidate says this on your show, within hours, all of a sudden the IRS offices are bombarded with incredibly sophisticated cyber tools.
Incredibly sophisticated cyber tools. Oh my gosh. John Podesta was the victim of a phishing attack. Incredibly sophisticated cyber tools. Oh, she is so full of shit.
Looking for
Oh,
Trump's tax
Jesus
returns,
Christ.
and then extracts them and then passes them to whatever the new WikiLeaks happens.
Yeah, you know what they're going to find? They're going to find that he made a lot of money and he paid a shit ton of taxes. Just like when Rachel Maddow did the she basically did an Al Capone's vault with Trump's tax returns from 6 or 7 years ago. Oh, we have the returns. We got an exclusive copy of Donald Trump's tax returns. Oh, he made this money, and he paid this much of taxes. Oh well, that's all. Oh my God.
To be, and they start being
Oh my God.
disclosed.
Oh my God.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you're going to
Yes, she did. She just invited the Chinese to hack the IRS. Yeah, she invited them to hack the U.S. government, not the private server that used to be in your basement. Oh my God. Yes, Hillary Clinton. Yes, you did. I guess you just did it right out in the open, though, so it's not a conspiracy. Oh my God.
director who said that last week. They're in our election systems. We're worried about 2020, he said. So, hey, let's have a great power contest, and let's get the Chinese in on the side of somebody.
Oh no, I didn't even see that, Piccolo.
How absurd the situation we find ourselves in.
All right, so that's that. Let's get into Twitter trends because hey, wait a minute. I'm gonna go to my homepage. I did not see that, Piccolo. Apparently, Bernie Sanders. Let's see. Is attacking Disney, saying all the Avengers profits should go to all the Disney employees. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my God. Bernie. Let's see if there's anything else. I just need a sip of coffee. Hang on. Alrighty then. You know what? Let's just get into Twitter trends because I can't. I just can't. That's funny. So it is Friday, people. Today's Friday. And of course, there's a lot of Fridays in the top 10. But the first one today is Friday Feeling. Are you feeling me? Huh? Oh, let's see. Joe Biden. Not a whisper. More like a megaphone. Oh, yeah. Not even a whisper of a scandal during my time in the White House. So here's a list. Fast and Furious, the IRS targeting scandal. I don't know what the Colorado River one is. NSA spying, the Iran deal, Benghazi, Bergdahl, Trinity College, I don't know what that one is. VA scandal, yeah. Secret Service scandal, yeah. Solyndra, yeah. Oh, we forgot about Solyndra. The AP scandal where they were spying on AP and James Rosen from Fox News, yeah. And Spygate, which is going to be the biggie of them all. So, yes, to say there were no scandals during your administration, you can just... Well, here's the thing, though. The way you determine if it's a scandal or not is if the New York Times and the Washington Post pay attention to it, and they tried to avoid those things at all costs, even though they ended up having to report on them. It was too tough not to. Oh, good God. Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Maybe an argument made that if he meant animators who are suing Disney over the wage rates. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Or, I'm sure most of the actors in that movie have a points deal too, where they're going to get points based on the gross of the movie. But you know what? I mean, I don't know what he meant. We'll find it later. Anyway, yeah, there were plenty of scandals during the Obama administration. Good God. Anyway, let's get a good Friday. Adam Grant, here's a Friday feeling. When you apologize, you're not putting yourself down. You're expressing concern for how your actions affect others. Don't be sorry for saying sorry. Be quick to apologize. Oh, being quick to apologize is a sign of empathy. However, don't apologize for shit you didn't have to apologize for. Sometimes you just don't apologize because the mob is asking you to. Do you feel me, PewDiePie? All right, that's Friday Feeling trading number 1. I think that's enough for Friday Feelings because you know what? I want some facts, and facts don't care about your feelings. Number 2, Ruin Friday in 4 words. Oh, this should be good. I bet there'll be some funny ones. Just found out I was on Top Chat all morning, Dawg Knight. You have to start over now so I can read those comments again. Hey, here's what you can do, Johnny Hellcat. Watch the rebroadcast and make sure you put live chat on next time. And, Picalo's buried in traffic. If I wasn't buried in traffic right now trying to get on to Toronto, would send you a link. Yeah, maybe you can send me a link and we'll hit on it Monday. But no bullshit covered. If it this morning, he put on a video about it. Oh, no bullshit covered it. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I was like, what? All right. Oh, yeah. Peter Mayhew died. Ruin Friday in 4 words. If you're not familiar with Peter Mayhew, he's the gentleman who was Chewbacca in the original Star Wars. He passed away. That's a good one. Friday in 4 words. Here's some more here. Good morning. It's time to kick off Friday morning hashtag games with what? What could possibly okay, that's who started the hashtag. How to ruin Friday in 4 words. Can you work on Saturday? Monday's 3 days away. All right. Unexpectedly getting head crushed. That's funny, but it's not. Destroying our own planet. Virtue. That is gross. We got to start. We got to get back to where we don't throw our trash out in crazy places. But I don't know. That's a lot of this shit floats here from other countries too. The United States has gotten better about, that Keep America Beautiful campaign. I'm telling you, in the 70s, there was garbage everywhere on the roads. Oh, I got to transition this over here. Today is my Monday. Ruin a Friday in 4 words. Oh, Johnny Hellcat. That's right. You're okay. That sucks. Hey, Lindsay. How are ya? Been really, really busy at work so I thought I would drop in and say hi. I missed you guys. Oh, we miss you too, Lindsay. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you popped in. All right. Ruin Friday in 4 words. You're not in love. Yeah, that Monday I wish I did. Thursday, Wednesday is to Thursday. I don't care about you. It's Friday. I'm in love. Everyone remember that song? I remember that song. Okay. Ruin a Friday words. Trump's still president. Sad. Well, if that ruins your Friday, hey, Trump is still president. I added is still. Okay, enough of. I'm sure there's some good ones, but you can look at those yourself. I'm going to move on from the Friday. That number 3. Number 3 is The Cure. Yes, Friday I'm in love. World Press Freedom Day. Okay, so world leaders, news agencies, and journalists are defending media freedom on World Press Freedom Day. You know what's fascinating? Now, and I'm fine with World Press Freedom Day, whatever, I don't care, because it's good. And in fact, for the most part, we have the freest press in the world. And even though Donald Trump is very critical of them, have you noticed that Donald Trump has done nothing whatsoever to hinder freedom of the press in the United States? Even though they like to call him a dictator, even though they like to bitch about him constantly complaining about the press, has he done anything to hinder freedom of the press in the United States? Can you name anything that he's done? Bet you can't. Unlike the prior administration that actually did surveillance on some reporters. Now, okay, obviously you knew Khashoggi is going to be brought up, so let's just go through a couple of these and see how this is playing out, and I'm just the top ones. Jim Sciutto, he is co-anchor CNN Newsroom, CNN Chief National Security Correspondent. 7 months ago, Jamal Khashoggi walked into the Saudi consulate in Istanbul for marriage papers while his fiancée waited outside. He was brutally murdered and dismembered by Saudi agents and never seen again. Today is World Press Freedom Day. We will continue to cover the story. Absolutely should. Now I'm not going to even bring up anything else about Khashoggi. There are some conflicting reports, but if that did happen, and that's awful. Okay, nobody celebrates that. Christina Amanpour, we all know her. She's a piece of work. Good morning on World Press Freedom Day. Take it from me. Be truthful, not neutral. That's an interesting way to put it. Be truthful, not neutral. Now, originally, should she be considered a reporter, or is she an opinion journalist? I'm curious. Let's see what the thread says here. She continues, with the world slouching towards authoritarianism and so many colleagues in danger, remember Jefferson. Where it left to me to decide whether we should have a government without newspapers or newspapers without a government, I should not hesitate a moment to prefer the latter. Now, this is extremely fascinating to me because she promotes authoritarianism, and yet, but not the authoritarianism that she's talking about. She promotes the authoritarianism of her ideology and not allowing others to speak. Remember the other day when she said something about Trump shouldn't be allowed to say something like this or something like that, or people shouldn't be allowed to say things? She is the one who wants to be the authoritarian. And I'm sure her statement here was probably pointed at our president, but you gotta, the people that call Trump a dictator, tell me how. Tell me how. Okay? Our system of government really has checks and balances against that still. Even if he had a party in power, there's still courts, whatever. She cracks me up. She cracks me up. Let's see what else. Steven Crowder. Oh, Steven Crowder. The Russia story will never die. It's become a cottage industry with the old guard press standing to make millions. They don't care about you, world freedom. And I don't disagree with that, Steven Crowder. But hey, we have a free press and they're allowed to do that. Now, I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to listen to them. I can tell them to fuck off. But I get to make that judgment. They get to say what they want, and I get to tell them that they're assholes. World Press Freedom Day. Rock on. Now, and it's funny because in most places, our press is free. You know, our press is free. I'm trying to find anyone that today is World Press Freedom Day, and things don't look too bright on the map. Free press is a cornerstone of a democracy and is threatened not only by authoritarian governments, but also by ownership concentration. Oh, that's interesting. How about ideological concentration? Now, here's a map he puts on here, and the white are good situation. Yellow here is satisfactory situation. Orange is problematic situation. Red, difficult. Black, very serious. What the F? Is our press any less free than Canada, which is almost... You know why ours is problematic? Because we have press that don't all conform to the dominant narratives. And they like to say that, oh, Donald Trump is hindering press freedom. Give me an example. Exactly how? By him tweeting what he thinks. Get the fuck out of here. On World Press Day, this is Oliver Willis, you idiot. Understand the entire mainstream American media has subjugated itself willingly to an autocratic fascist. Again, give me an example. How is Donald Trump a fascist? By the definition of fascism. You know? God, I get so tired of hearing that frickin' word. This media sold out to politicians. There was a time when newspapers were printed and sold, but today some Indian newspapers are sold and then printed. Okay, that's in India. Amnesty International, protect our journalists. Protect our journalists. Yeah, the journalists, like the journalists who were just killed in Venezuela. Yeah, that's a problem. And even Khashoggi being killed, yeah, that's a problem. Anyway, let's get out of there. I'll blow a gasket if I keep reading that. Ben Tahoe, OG, good morning. Welcome to the show. Make sure you're not neutral, meaning make sure you are biased. Stay in your camp. I'm so tired of two sets of rules, one-way streets and double standards. Principlelessness, sophist. Absolutely right. And by the way, welcome, Ben. I am not familiar with you, but I'm glad you're here. Hope you enjoy the show. All right, let's see. All right, let's move on. I'm tired of World Press Freedom Day. Friday Motivation. It says Friday in the name. I already did 2 that had Friday in the name, so I'm not doing Friday Motivation. And number 6, I'm going to skip that one too. Friday Thoughts. Oh, excuse me. Friday Thoughts, not Thoughts. I might have to do a Friday Thoughts segment someday. Just pictures of thoughts. All right, number 5 though is Vampire Weekend. Why is it Vampire Weekend? It's Father of the Bride release day, and Vampire Weekend fans are celebrating by wearing their polos and cardigans. I don't know the joke. Big Little Lies and new Vampire Weekend. I have intergenerational wealth this week, y'all. Can't tell me shit. I'm wearing vintage polo and vacationing in Barcelona. Okay, so there's something. Just someone in this world can explain this whole thing to me. I don't get it. Okay, me and the boys are heading to the bars tonight after listening to nothing but the new Vampire Weekend all day. Apparently, do I want to know? Why can't I hear that? I have no idea. Oh my goodness. Oh my. All right, let's go on because I have no idea. But I do have the funk going. Oh, the band. There's a band called Vampire Weekend. Oh, is that song? Okay? They put something on. I don't care. Number 7 trending. Zach Brown joins the Eagles in a 1-year deal. Used to play for the Redskins, linebacker, very good player. I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm a Redskins fan. I'm sad to see Zach Brown go, but I haven't paid attention to the Redskins for a while, so I'm going to move on to number 8. Ted Bundy is trending. So if you didn't know, Zac Efron is starring a new feature a biopic about Ted Bundy. Apparently it's available to streamers. Streamers are jumping on the opportunity to see the Ted Bundy biopic starring Zac Efron. Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile is now out on Netflix in most places. So apparently you can see that movie on Netflix. I hear he did a pretty good job portraying Ted Bundy. That's a effed up dude, though, man. Vampire Weekend is a band. Thank you. I'm confused. I know what song it is now that I think about it. I know exactly what song I'm thinking. It was in the movie. Let's see, Vampire Weekend. Let's look that one up. It's Father of the Bride release. Fans are celebrating. Yeah, something about. Anyway, I don't know. Let's move on. Vampire Weekend, Friday Thoughts, Zach Brown, Ted Bundy. Who is Nick Senzel? Trending with Matt Bowman. Who is this dude? Why is this guy trending? Oh, he's a baseball player. Number 1 the Reds have selected the contract of number 1 prospect, Nick Senzel. 52 games with us. Senzel's batting .301. Pretty good. 30 runs. 32 doubles. 2 triples. 7 home runs. 27 RBIs. That's pretty good for a rook. Good God. All right. Good job, Nick Senzel. All right. Moving on. Pete Seeger. Oh, the singer. Okay. This would have been Pete Seeger's 100th birthday. Famous folk singer. It would have been his 100th birthday today. Great New Yorker and a great American would be 100. Gets immortalized with the Smithsonian social activist, died in 2014. His voice left a long-lasting impression on American music. May 3rd, 2019 would have been Seeger's 100th birthday. To mark the centennial, Smithsonian Folkways has set to release a 6-CD collection titled Pete Seeger, the Smithsonian Folkways Collection. All right, so he's a pretty famous musician and activist. Number 11, Warren Wiersbe. Who the hell is that? Oh, wow. Okay, let's, we're grieving the loss, but celebrating the faithfulness of Warren Wiersbe. Now, who was he? Apparently, popular and prolific Bible teacher Warren Wiersbe died on the evening of May 2nd, 2019 at the age of 89. Warren Wiersbe was born on May 16, 1929 to Fred and Gladys Wiersbe in East Chicago, Indiana. And he was he's a famous minister, so he's trending today. I wasn't not familiar with him, but may he rest in peace. Hey, Jaeger Pony, welcome back. All right, so that's Warren Wiersbe passed away. Alan Crabb, Sean Marks, genius GM, orchestrated a clearly much better rebuild than the Sixers. Signed Crabb to this awful contract and traded him on this awful contract. Brooklyn Nets, oh my gosh. Brooklyn Nets guard Alan Crabb has exercised his $18.5 million player option for the 2019-2020 season, league sources tell him. He's terrible. He's terrible. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, there you go. And someone has to pay that contract. Good for him. All right. Enough about Alan Crabb. Annie Donaldson. Never heard of her either. Anyone? Watergate investigators had the Nixon tapes. Robert Mueller had Annie Donaldson's notes. My latest on loyal lawyer and key narrator of Trump's worst impulses. Okay, this is something the Washington Post. From now on, anything the Washington Post writes, I wait 5 days before I give it any credence, because usually within 5 days, everything they write goes to shit and turns into something else, especially when it relates to, the Washington Post has at some point, and not that I guess I trust the New York Times more? I kind of do. They've become part of the resistance, and so they will write anything that comes up, and then you have to wait to make sure whether it's true or not. Anyway, Daily Notes jotted down by the Chief of Staff to the White House counsel provided a trove of evidence cited by the special counsel. Well, that's great, but what was the conclusion after that evidence? It's like they're trying to stretch it out as much as they can, but Mueller has already presented his report and they haven't got any collusion, whatever, charges or whatever. And so they're they're dying for this obstruction one. But that is quite that's a stretch when there's no underlying crime. Anyway, Mark Halperin's trending. Oh yeah, Morning Joe tries to repair Mark Halpin's career. The Daily Beast reports. So Mark Halperin left the MSNBC in disgrace. Former political journalist Mark Halperin was fired by NBC News after facing allegations of sexual harassment, is trying to stage a comeback with the help of Morning Mika and Joe NBC, a.k.a. Morning Joe Scarborough. The Daily Beast reports. Well, I'm sure that I've already seen a couple tweets about this. I didn't think it'd be trending, but the feminist Me Too crowd is not happy, and you know what? I'm not either. I don't care about Mark Halperin. Jessica Valenti says, just so no one forgets, Mark Halpin is accused of pressing his erect penis against multiple women, grabbing a woman's breast, throwing a woman against a window, and when rejected, calling a woman to tell her she'd never work in media again. Yeah, Mark Halpin's, and again, all allegations, But, you know, Mark Halperin is, I don't know. These allegations have witnesses, so there you go. Oh God! Of course, Oliver Willis. If you've never, I've known Oliver Willis for going on 20 some years now. I knew him when he was still a kid writing a blog. Look, Joe NBC and Morning Mika spent most of 2015 and 2016 endlessly flogging their friend Donald Trump. So the campaign to promote sexual predator Mark Halperin makes a lot of sense. You know what? Oliver, have you watched The Morning Joe in the last 2 years? Joe Scarborough hates Donald Trump. Shut the fuck up, Oliver. God, I'm swearing a lot today. Y'all got me going, not you. Y'all are why I'm here. That's not why I'm going. This jackhole has got me going. Oh, I meant to do it like this. Y'all are why I'm here. This jackhole's got me going. All right, enough of that. Mark Halperin's trending, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mark Halperin's in the top 2 or 3 by the end of the day. I would include, let's see, not Ted Bundy. Mark Halperin's going to be up there pretty quick, I think, because there's a lot of people talking about his sorry ass. Francisco Calvo, he's a soccer player. I don't do soccer. Sorry, guys, I don't. Bradham. What is Bradham? Oh, this is, he's some football thing. Oh, I see. They, the kind of the ranked players. And he's going to the Giants, I think? No. Where's he going? I can't even remember now. I just said it. Eagles. I mean, the Eagles. And the Eagles are loaded with some highfalutin talent. Anyway, Big Thief. Folk-tinged indie bordered by demons. Hypnotic soft guitars, mask the easiest New York 4-piece third out. Okay, some Big Thief has an album. I'm skipping that. New Music Friday. Apparently that's what happens on Spotify or something like that. Why is it trending though? New Music Friday is a mix of songs that everything's gonna be all right and a little bit of Jesus and a lot of I'm sorry songs. Weird. Oh, I see. Is that the album by these guys? Big Thief, something like that? I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. Last one on the list, the California Senate. This is gonna go up to the top, I would guess. Number 19 trending. The California Senate passes a bill to keep Trump off the 2020 ballot unless he releases his tax returns. There is no constitutional reason why this should be allowed. But here it is. Breaking. The California State Senate has overwhelmingly voted to pass a bill that would keep presidential candidates, including Trump, off the state's 2020 ballot unless they release their tax returns. You know what? Why stop with the president? You realize that the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, has never, ever produced her tax returns in public. I would imagine that Dianne Feinstein has. I don't know. We know for a fact that Nancy Pelosi hasn't. And what state is she from? She's from California. California. Yeah, that's BS. Will it stand in court? I don't know. We'll see. Trump would not be able to. Well, California. By the way, do you think Trump has a chance in California? All these states, it's the states that Trump doesn't have a chance that are thinking about this. You ever notice that? Way to go, California. All states should do the same. Why? It's not a requirement to be the president of the United States. I don't care. Unless you got something he's done that's illegal, nobody cares. Oh my God. No, it's all about digging up dirt. Doesn't it concern anyone that a state is violating the Constitution and interfering with our elections? People blindly celebrating this because they dislike the president, but this is a dangerous precedent. Yeah, it's just silly to me. It's just some silly bullshit. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've had enough for the day because that's the end of Twitter Trends. And I don't have a happy story to finish with. Let's look on here. Did anyone send me anything yet? We already, should we listen to this guy try to talk one more time from Alabama? Try to decipher. They needed a damn, what did they need? They needed a damn, whatchamacallit? They need closed captioning for this dude. I can't understand a word he's saying. I'm not going to do it again. I got to go. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. I'm going to check here real quick. It's not like California gives a crap about the Constitution anyway. That's the truth. I'm sure the people will vote for him there. Well, here's what's going to happen. So Trump will release tax returns, and everyone in California is going to vote for him, right? Oh my God. It's like the popular vote resolutions that a lot of states are trying to pass too, that they will give their delegates to whoever does the popular vote. No. Hey, I might link a really good Truck and Bear, what's happening? I might link a really good Razor Fist video talking about the Electoral College. A lot of people are talking about, we want to get rid of the Electoral College. Well, you only want to get rid of the Electoral College when Democrats lose. That's the if the Democrats lose, we got to change the rules. That seems to be the consensus on some of the left. But hey, I don't have any more time. I'm out of time, folks. I'm way past my bedtime. Not my bedtime, but I'm late, so I gotta say goodbye. But hey, I gotta thank you all for being here at the Morning Night Live. Again, right down here, hit the share arrow, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. And if you hit the subscribe button, you gotta hit that bell too. We're here Monday through Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT for if you live in another part of the world that uses GMT to figure out when things are happening in other parts of the world. And down in the description below, if you'd like to leave a tip in the tip jar, that'd be great. I use Streamlabs instead of anything related to YouTube. When you donate via Streamlabs, the money you donate goes to the person you donate it to and not to YouTube. And if you want to leave a comment there, I will always put them in the next show if it's not during the show. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you coming. If it's your first time here, come back and just put a note in the comment section. I really appreciate you. My name is Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and I want to thank you for joining me today on the Dawg Knight channel. Before you go, if you like what you saw and you're not already subscribed, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below, and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and 2 p.m. GMT. A special thanks to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through our Streamlabs link in the description below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.